Ahoy, friends. It's me, Dave Landau. After a long night on stage, I like to kick back with a captain's hat and a fine cigar and watch the Dennis and Andy show. These guys are huge nerds, but they're the kind that you actually want to hang out with. Enjoy them. I do.
So am I.
Hello, everybody. It is the Dennis and Andy show on this fine, fabulous, fantastic Wednesday. We had to play the old Dave Landau intro where he has his pirate hat on and stuff. And it was weird when I had Dave do that. The first few takes, he just kept saying, hello, friend. And I'm like, no, you have to say friends because it's Dennis and Andy. And he's like, but I don't like Dennis. And I'm like, Dave, do it for me. Just say it for me. His name begins with D, just like yours does, Dave. You have that in common, at least. He's like, all right. I never told you that.
That's because he was like, Andy who? I know Dennis.
I want to spare your feelings.
I remember him from Nashville. I said, of course you did. You heard me yelling at you from the crowd.
I don't know if that's true or not. I think you're lying.
Feels like total truth.
Nope. You fib a lot. Prater 7's in the house. What's up? Joe Bernardo. Look at that. Nice and early. Joe's never here this early. Aloha, guys. That was freaky how Dennis' face fit the Leo DiCaprio head. I know, wasn't it? Good afternoon, Dan. Dan, Garden State is coming up soon. And we will see you there. Oh, I said we. I don't mean Dennis and me. I mean Dennis and one of our guests, because Dennis is deciding to skip Garden State for some bullshit family trip he's doing.
Yeah. Why plan out things a year in advance just to change them, just to go with Andy? And I'm like, it's already torture.
I've got a family trip this week. Is it interfering with any conventions that we would have planned? No, because I'm thoughtful. Just saying one of us is. Now I understand why his wife calls me every night crying about this marriage she can't get out of. Oh, you're not supposed to know that.
Oh, I know, Dan, it really is a bummer, but I had so much fun last year. I'll be back next year. There's a few trips that I've got this year, and I know I'm going to be missing a few conventions. It is what it is, but that's okay. I'll be back up at Garden State to see you, and I know a lot of you are going to be at Heroes Con over Father's Day weekend, and I will be there for Heroes Con right before I hop on the plane and fly out.
Yeah, he'd rather go to Shitfield, San Francisco than do the Garden State.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
He's going to take a few poop samples, though, just to run DNA on him, just to see what comes
And
up.
they're going to be like, ooh, Andy Smith.
Never,
Yeah.
Nope, never been
you
to San
import
Francisco.
your crap there. No, guys, the real reason we're doing the trip is, since Andy has to bring it up and try and make me feel bad every show, which I don't.
Every show.
Some of us literally have to, we're visiting all 50 state capitals. I am down to Sacramento because I've never been, even though I've been to California, never Sacramento. My wife has to hit, Nevada. She hasn't been. I've been to Carson City. We do that. And then we got Hawaii. That'll be one of our other trips. And then I'll have all the state capitals done, checked off, and then I'll be moving on to other countries.
It's weird when you pass and hopefully get to the pearly gates. Hopefully, they're going to look down and go, so let's see. It says here your biggest accomplishment in life was visiting all the state capitals.
Well, and that's like 10 times more impressive than anything Andy did. That's right. Besides, I don't just go up to the pearly gates. I have an express elevator. No. It goes right up there with the VIP gold card. Me and William Shatner are going right to the top.
You don't understand.
Very quickly.
They'll read that. And then, years later, once I finally arrive, they'll go, oh, best-selling author of Drawing Dynamic Comics. Oh, you wrote another book, Drawing America. Oh, you self-published? Oh, my God.
Oh.
Right this way.
Okay.
Clear, the dude in the left corner by himself. He visited all 50 state capitals. Nobody's really talking to him for some reason.
Wow.
Just saying.
Wow. Well, what can I say other than the fact that it will be an accomplishment, and then we'll be on to capitals of countries. But hey, that's a discussion for another time. Why? Because while Andy wants to sit here and banter and make me feel bad, we have two absolutely incredible guests that we can't wait to be able to bring on. You see, he just went,
No, I did
about
that.
our guests.
I did that over Joe's comment.
You did it for both
Vaughn
and Joe. I saw what you just did. They heard you. Wow.
No.
I mean, they were expecting a high professional quality experience on the Dennis and Andy show.
All I know is,
and you couldn't even get robot voice.
I tried promising them that you would show up with sleeves and be presentable. And
why would you promise that?
You couldn't even do that for our guests.
If that's what you guys expected, I am so sorry.
I apologize to you both. Dennis, this is why I never worked a real job. Whenever he goes for an interview, they're like, can't do it.
Andy can't go to San Francisco because they don't like Cowboy fans near the NFC champs. Right, because it's infectious. The 49ers will start losing. That is right. I agree with you, Joe.
Well, that's it. That's all it's going to take. Go out there.
You're like COVID. It's a disease that don't go away. A little bit won't fix.
There's your mic got quiet. Did it get quiet for you too, Joe?
Yeah, it seems like us coming in affected it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What? Are you serious?
Oh, now it's fine. What the hell?
No.
Hang on. Talk again.
Hello.
Now it's fine.
Okay. There you go.
Well,
see, it's when he talks.
Yeah.
The mic automatically knows.
Guys, just if there's we've had a couple of technical issues. Most of them are ID10T errors since Andy's running it. But if we do have these problems, let us know in the chat and we will fix them.
Sounds good. I'll just yell at you guys. First of all, San Fran. It's funny you mentioned that because even though it's not technically San Fran, I do nuke in the opening battle of my comic. I do actually, like, I guess the second battle, nuke California. So if you're interested, especially Silicon Valley. So that's your kind of thing, I hope you're not there at the time, Dennis. But
spoiler.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's just see.
It was Reenie's idea. I knew I wanted to nuke California, and then she was like, "Oh, you should do Silicon Valley," and I was like, "Oh, that's great."
Why would you do California? Isn't
did you grow up there or something?
The ocean anyway?
Well, all right. So my idea was that basically it's like the weather is beautiful. It's great. It's a great place to set a story. There's some things that could be changed, and so what happens during World War III, very unfortunately, is an area is nuked, but it is reformed magically and rebuilt from the ground up. So the place is the same. It's great. I mean, it's a new area, but there were some problems, like a hippie problem possibly that needed to.
No, I heard you say magically. Is it actual magic, or are we talking?
You'll have to find out.
Science?
You have to find out.
It was the only way to get rid of the unhoused, I guess.
Yeah. That wasn't the villain's intentions. Of course, they didn't want good things for America. But yeah. No, it's interesting. All right, but yeah, that does happen. I'm playing up a bit, but that does actually happen in my comic.
All right. Well, let's talk about happier things.
What? You like San Francisco?
Happy time.
Yeah, you like San Francisco, maybe just getting rid of the Dallas Cowboys from the NFL. Those would be happy times. I'm all good. Hey, are you guys into football at all? Do you have football teams?
No.
No, not really. The art has taken over my life.
Okay.
Yeah. I gotta get to having a life again. I have my list of comics to read, and it keeps growing. And then every time I'm going on a show to promote, someone recommends me a new comic, and then that grows. So it's just nonstop. And then I have like a video essay I want to work on, and then a new game came out, and it's like, man, I just can't keep up. But especially because I came in and there's all these because you guys I imagine we're reading all these classic runs coming out. Now the upside to not having classic runs coming out, if there was any, is that I don't have to keep up with that. I could be like, oh, I'll just catch up on the stuff from years ago. It's not like I'm missing, anything. So that's an upside.
That makes sense. It is totally different. Look, when I started reading comics in let's say 82, you got to think about it. The Silver Age started in 59 with Showcase.
Technically, most people call it, 61.
All right, but still, let's say it was 61.
Yeah.
61 to 82 is only 21 years of backlog.
Yeah.
Right? There's Golden Age comics, whatever, but you take somebody like Vaughn, and, you when in 82, I was 12 when I started reading. Vaughn, you were 12 when? Like 10, 11 years ago? How old are you?
12 years ago, yeah.
12 years ago.
Whoa.
So you're looking at, like 40, almost 50 years of
that's when I started reading 12.
Yeah, I know when you started reading, comics weren't phenomenal like they were back then. So.
It was a weird time too. It was like I got in, and then they started the New 52, and I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, how I had been doing watching the movies and stuff, and I was like, I want to catch up on the lore." And then I would get in, I'd be like, "Wait, is the stuff canon?" And they'd be like, "Well, like kind of." And I'd be like, "What do you mean?" And they'd be like, "Well, like it might be." And it's like, what is going on? Like what? Like I'd be like I learned the Justice League. Oh, Martian Manhunter is a founding member. Cyborg's a Teen Titan. They're like, yeah, well, actually, he's not. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? It was so weird. It was such a weird time to get into comics. And then Superman was wearing like jeans and shit. And I was like, what is going on? Why is Beast Boy red? What is happening? Like I just got here and I already want to leave.
Right? So, when did you start getting into comic books? When did you start reading?
Oh man, I was a sheltered boy long ago, and didn't get to read too many comic books. But in high school and college, especially college, I got tapped into it, and I just like had that feeling when you walk into a comic shop, like you could spend your whole life inside it and never leave. And once that happened, I started, I read a lot of the editors' picks at the time, which happened to be Robin, some Tim Drake Robin stuff from Freddie Williams, which later became, one of my key people in figuring out how to make art. But then I went back to all the goodies, not everything, obviously. There's so much. Like you said, there's 40 years or more because I'm older than Vaughn, or less. But either way, I really liked a lot of DC stuff. Marvel, I like Ultimate Spider-Man and a lot of the Claremont stuff for X-Men. But at the same time, there's so much untapped things that I have not read.
Yeah.
But all the classics, definitely. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, there's still stuff to this day that when we go to a show, just scrounging through long boxes and stuff, I'm like, what is this? I've never seen this, from like the 70s or whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to buy it, give it a read. And that's the cool thing is there's so much stuff out there I think the 90s was a great decade, but I think 80s and 70s. I think the 80s was just fantastic.
80s writing wise,
my golden years.
At least for superhero comics, I'd say 80s are the best writing wise at the very least. I mean, Claremont's X-Men, Frank Miller's Daredevil. Even late 80s, like a lot of the 90s stuff we remember was like late 80s, right? Mike Barron started on Punisher 80s, 86 overall. I mean, that year alone, I was just holding it. Punisher, Circle of Blood, Crisis had finished up, Dark Knight Returns, Born Again, Elektra, Assassin started, Daredevil, Love and War. So Frank Miller alone did 4 different hits that year. Yeah. You had Mutant Massacre. You had God, I mean, it's just I haven't read Byrne's Man of Steel, but I know that came out that year. That's on my to read list.
See? Good stuff. And Blue Boy says, don't forget Hellboy.
That's on my immense reading list. I'll maybe get to
Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel. I was a big Byrne guy in the 80s. I mean,
me too.
I didn't discover Byrne on the X-Men. It wasn't until I went back. So I think I discovered him maybe first on either Fantastic Four or Alpha Flight. Then I went back and was like X-Men, and when he made that jump to DC, it was almost just unheard of because at that point he only dabbled with a short story or something like that at DC. But when he went, nope, Man of Steel and then new Superman book, I was just like, holy shit! I think I bought 2 of each one of them. I've got the trades. It was just such good stuff. At least I thought.
I'm a big Byrne fan. Obviously, I'm an X-Men guy, so that Byrne stuff is out of this world. Then again, that the whole era there of X-Men stuff was fantastic, but Byrne was up there. I love Alpha Flight, not just because they were mutant-ish and tied into X-Men, but Byrne. I mean, love Sasquatch.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, he drew some. Dude, his figure work is just great. I think I usually get tapped into some artist in the current days, say, or not current, but some of the older guys, the 90s guys, and they would mention their inspirational type of references, Byrne, Buscema, whoever, and I'd go back whenever they would talk about it in interviews or in the back, of these books, and I would go do the research. That's kind of how I found, stories came afterward. I was really drawn to the art at first. I'm definitely a artist first guy.
Sure. Comics are at their highest with artists John Byrne, George Perez, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, Walt Simonson, early Frank Miller, Bob Layton, Sal Buscema. There's just so many more. I mean, those are all great. Those are all guys I followed in the 80s, but there's a plethora.
Right. And compare that to today when you say, boy, who are those great, Marvel and DC comic artists and amazing writers right now that they have. Oh, there's
Sure.
But there, well, wait, there's
Sure.
oh yeah. guys, I'm telling you, for me, it really was the golden age of that. Some of the best books writing. 70s were great. 60s is where it really was all invented and it really came together. So, true golden age. But, for me, the best stuff when comics started evolving really was the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80s. I mean, even with X-Men alone, because you see a transition from 70s to 80s. I mean, we start off. I think it's even. Let me grab my copy. I think literally the first issue of the 80s is the start of the Dark Phoenix saga. Let me double check that. But I'm almost positive it's like bam, right in. Yeah, January. Literally January 1980, we start the Dark Phoenix saga, and from there, and then we ended on. We ended on like Psylocke, becoming Asian.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was very weird. The sister of white bread Brian Braddock, who's blonde hair, blue eyes, and it's like she's Asian.
Yeah, but the thing that I liked about it too was like, because I had grown up thinking, oh, it's the body swap. I didn't realize that was a retcon. Like literally, the original plot was that he just turns her Asian so she could he actually just transforms her to be Asian. She's still white, but she just has like, and then it's like they don't really address it anymore. But she's hot, so you're kind of like, oh, okay.
Exactly. She was hot, so nobody cared.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. There was even like Claremont had a lot of. There were like, I remember there was one part where it's just Moira McTaggart is casually just wearing this really sexy outfit out of nowhere. I'm like, what? And like, oh yeah, she's trying this new thing. I'm like, what? And they just kind of move on. But that was comics back then. You could have hot women, without it being a big problem. You can sometimes.
You got to sneak it in these days.
It's weird. But yeah, I mean, it's also. Dude, but the 80s, 1980, I think it was also New Teen Titans was 1980, wasn't it?
Yeah, Teen Titans was, yep. That was
1980.
81 or so, something like that.
1980 was a good year. That was a good decade for movies, too. I mean, 1980, you had, The Shining. I mean, Friday the 13th is a classic. It's not good, but it's a classic. Airplane, I think, was 1980, right?
Honestly, I remember all the movies. I've seen it. I mean,
I'm not good with years, but yeah.
Yeah. I thought Friday the 13th was in the 70s, but that was 80.
No, that was 80. The slashers trend started in the 70s, but it didn't really take off.
Halloween,
Halloween
was a big
one. And then Friday the 13th was 80. That was good.
I got to say, Vaughn, you're repping your generation pretty well. Like if most kids are like you, man.
Oh, they're not.
They're not.
I know. But you're giving me
just turn on the news at night, and you can unfortunately see these lame.
Oh, you don't even have to. You don't even have to turn on TikTok or go to a college, and you'll be like, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Turn on the news, look at the current college campuses, and those idiots.
Yeah.
And,
Columbia's looking for some good kids nowadays.
I'm good. I'm good where I'm at, Dennis.
Columbia's looking for the next Third Reich. So.
What?
Come on down.
All right, you're typecasting me. It's because of my hair.
No, not you.
No,
not you.
No, he is.
I was saying
it's
Columbia itself, not you.
Blonde hair and blue eyes. Hello, Aryan. I mean, obviously that's what he was referencing.
That's why I shaved my head, because it was really blonde and I have blue eyes. And I didn't want to So I figured I'll just shave it.
That's what you did. Just shave it.
It's believable.
Yeah. Believable story. Likely.
But no, the only book, we go to the shop every Wednesday, and I got to admit, I did buy a Marvel book, but it's because it was drawn by Adam Kubert, whose work I just love. And it's, Deadpool versus Wolverine. Joe Kelly's writing it. So I got it for the art. I hope, the story's good, but I love Adam Kubert's work. So there's certain artists I follow and still buy. So.
That's kind of how I do it.
It did come out. It is not Marvel or DC this week. Space Ghost #1 came out, and so I hope y'all ran down to your funny book shop and grabbed your copy, and we are collectively crossing our fingers that this is G.I. Joe Transformers good and not just Thundercats good.
Okay. I've heard that the G.I. Joe and Transformers stuff is very good right now. I hear Titan Comics, man.
Yeah.
I'm so far behind on everything. I haven't even read Ghost Machine. I got my book signed by the whole creative team like 2 months ago, and then I haven't read it yet. I've been so behind. I had to read this book called Kor-Drath.
I know.
It really took up some of my time. It was
You're
good.
damn right.
Well, that's
Best
because
time that you had.
it's a big graphic novel read, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. No, that's what I liked about it. Actually, it was like because there are comics today that I'll buy and I'll be like that was it. Now it was longer, but it was also denser. There was story, and yeah, I know there was story is a but you read it was someone who you guys clearly had a world that you had thought up and characters. Andy, I will say I don't know. Did you see the one professionals where I popped by in the chat? I just said, hey, pop by just to let you know, Andy, I can't watch right now because I'm reading Kor-Drath and I got to the sex scene.
Oh, nice. No, I didn't. That wasn't last night. That probably was last week.
No, last week. If you go back, I'm like, hey, Andy, on the sex scene right now.
Is it the Pop XP one?
Dude, it was explicit, Andy. I will say.
Well, I mean, it's for mature readers. We should have sent you the
little kitty right now. I was like, I hope my mom doesn't know I'm reading this
I know, get your
book.
Parent and guardian.
It was great, man.
You should go to that page and then because it's square bound, just kind of mash it down so it stays open. Just leave it on the kitchen table for your mom.
I'm sure my mom really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then realize that the Courage College girls don't do that.
No, they don't. No, they don't. But it was good. I liked it. I liked the action scenes too.
Thank you.
But I just brought it in. First of all, I will say you violated the bro code with some of the maneuvers Kor-Drath does on that giant. That was
well. That's the way it goes. He's an undead giant, so you do whatever it takes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it was good though. I liked it. I like the movie quote references.
You're saying he fights dirty. He doesn't do anything other weird.
Very
stuff.
dirty. Filthy, one could say.
So, Vaughn, I'm going to ask because I got a lot of feedback after that. How many of those quotes did you actually catch during the original reading?
I think there were a few where I'm like, I've heard a line like that before, but I was kind of in the story, so I didn't think of it. And I'm like, no shit. I was like, come on. But yeah, as soon as I went back, I was like, dude, really? Because I was just kind of people write. I'm like, he must have thought similar to this, and I'm like, he must have thought similar a few times, and then it's like, no.
You got to the end, and it was like, oh, it was intentional.
Yeah, I was like, oh, so he's not a hack. No. So here we go. I got some Andy art right here too.
That's right, and the old thingy. Yeah.
All right,
let's dive into first. We'll go with Vaughn's campaign. Phenomenova. Now, Vaughn, you are, you're the writer, of course, creator. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your, I guess, writing influences, because, how did this come about? Obviously being 20, I'm so bad. 23, right?
24.
24. So being 24, when did you get get bit by going, I want to write, comics?
Well, comics. So I wanted to write ever since I was little. I had come up with, I think I got into it through the movies first. And Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is probably my biggest influence. I just rewatched Spider-Man 3 yesterday. Movie's a lot goofier than I remember. But you guys should check out the clip of my friends and I dying laughing in the theater. I posted it on Twitter. But so I was big into that, and I thought that origin story was really well done. And I came up with this idea when I was a little kid. I was in second grade, and it would keep evolving and evolving and evolving, and then it became an idea for an animated series. And then I started writing it. And as I grew my palette, and then eventually started reading comics and also just other mediums, the story changed and evolved, and I get feedback from people. And then it didn't really become a comic, and I didn't decide to go full force with it until I was in college at one point, and I'm family friends, the producer of X-Men movies, and I asked him, I was like, where do you start? He was like, Giant Size X-Men #1, and then reading Spider-Man. So I started that, and I just felt like I had read mostly graphic novels at the occasional shorter run. This is the first time I really dived into comics in a way. And I just I fell in love with the medium and this story. I don't know why I just on a whim decided I felt like I need to read X-Men for some reason. And I did, and I'm glad I did, and I just kept following it because I just couldn't put it down. I've been putting down it because I have a lot of stuff to do at the moment, but I'm close. I've been close to finishing Claremont's run for a while.
Cool.
And like I got to Madripoor Nights. But I remember, I think one of the reasons I loved comics so much was because I'd always have these big budget ideas, right? Always. And they'd be like, yeah, well, like maybe for like $3,000 you could be in like a house for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, really? And I'd be like, so I'd have like all these big ideas, and they'd be, you have to be in the studio system, you have to do all this. And don't get me wrong, like I still love movies, I still make movies, but I'm like, for my big ideas where I'm going this one to the next one to the next one to the next one, and have this constant flowing arc while also having self-contained stories, while also introducing new characters all the time. With Claremont's run, it was like, because I had grown up with all these X-Men already existing, and seeing these ideas come about over time, and seeing the Dark Phoenix saga, which was, I had never read. It was a story that had been hyped up for years as one of the best.
Sure.
Seeing it unfold over the course of 40 issues, and knowing that there's a Phoenix saga and then a Dark Phoenix saga, just seeing that come about, really inspired me to go, okay, I'm going to take in this comic and I'm going to make it a thing. And then I remember I was like, well, I want to read my main character is a teenager, and I want to do that origin story and balance the struggles of his personal life. And I was like, let me dive into the original Spider-Man stuff. So I'd read that. And I really went full force into comics. And I had this Frank Miller Daredevil omnibus, and I finally was like, I'm reading his run. And I just kind of went all in on comics. And I've been just going further and further in. And I love the medium. I love the long format storytelling. I think I like shorter stuff too. Like I do want to do some shorter stuff, but like Phenomenova, like I know people say start with a more self-contained story, and I do get that. And I do think you get like a full story in this issue, but I really wanted to, I was like, well, if I'm going to do my one love letter to everything I love about comics and what drove me here, I'm going to go fully in. And so that's what this story is.
Awesome. All right, well, give us a little bit about the story and how you came up with it in the first place.
So when I was a little kid, I don't know why this bothered me. And when I posted about this on Twitter, everyone still makes fun of me for it. But I was like, why does the Flash have a lightning bolt symbol but no lightning powers and just super speed? No one else on the planet cares about that except for me when I was a kid. And so I was like, I'm going to make a character with lightning powers and super speed. Now, in my genius, like second grade wit, I thought Lightning Lad was a brilliant original name. And I remember like being so upset when I found out that was a character that's been around since the 1950s. So I had to change that. The character is now called Galvanite. And the reason he's called Galvanite, actually, if I could share, or I don't need to share it now, is when I came up with the name Lord Lightning, and then I brought it up on Rainey's stream on Creative Block. And the entire panel laughed at me when I brought up that name on air. So I had to change the character's name. But yeah, so
anything with Lord in it sounds a little.
That's what
Lord of Lightning.
Yeah, well, that's even worse. But I remember, basically what this story is about is it's set 20 years after World War III and follows the idealistic son of a war hero, and he is struck by lightning while holding this mysterious crystal, and he ends up with lightning powers and lightning speed. And he decides that he's like, I want to be like the brave superheroes that fought during the war. You get a glimpse of some of them here. And he's I'm inspired by them. And so he puts on this makeshift costume, and he finds that on the news, oh my God, there's this heist in a nuclear reactor. And he's like, oh my God, this is my perfect chance. I'm going to rush in. And, instead of being like, hey, maybe like you should take some time and like really train and actually like be good at it. He's like, no, I got this. And he finds himself in way over his head when he attempts to come face to face with a supervillain that is totally out of his league. And I really wanted to harken back in an age of constant deconstruction. I wanted this to be a reconstruction and reconstitution of the superhero genre. And just everything I love about these stories. I remember I would make a list and just be like, let me boil it down to the core. So Phenomenova, if you'll notice, is the name, but not the name of the main character. That will be the name of the team. He's eventually, by the end of the first issue, he will be taken under the wing of one of the heroes. I won't spoil who fought in World War III. And he will be trained to be part of a team called Phenomenova. So it's going to be a team book, but I decided there's a lot of comics that just throw too much at you in the first issue. And I really wanted to focus on like building from the ground up, and then he's going to get to his team. But I wanted to focus on the reason why he doesn't have a main costume. He just has a makeshift like costume in issue 1 is because I really wanted him to earn the right to be a superhero.
Right. That's cool.
It is. It's the MCU classic formula that they did. Here's an individual one, and it leads into something bigger. Here's an individual one, because it works so much better than here's a group of people, and now I'm going to try and explain them all to you. I think that's a great way to introduce them, focused on one character, working towards a greater goal. So that's exciting.
Well, it's like you're going to see him. With the rest of the team, you'll be introduced to them, and then you can explore them later on. But I wanted to do that with one character. So I pitched it as like, imagine if Spider-Man in his first outing failed and was taken in by the Justice League and trained by one of them to join the Teen Titans. That's kind of what this is.
Oh, that's cool.
So
one thing is, I don't know how out of the gate, for your first project, you found a fantastic artist. I mean, the stuff looks fantastic.
Yeah, it was a long process. I remember I had like 100 names in a notebook, and my criteria, I was like, why can't I find someone? And I was like, well, because my criteria is so goddamn specific. Of course, like it's one of those things. It's like, how like you'll have like you're living with a girl and they're like, yeah, this outfit, I don't have anything to wear, and you're like, what do you mean? Oh, yeah. Like it was like that with artists. It was like I can't find anyone, but this guy, he was perfect. One of the most important things for me was finding someone who could talk on the phone, and we can communicate back and forth. Oh, do you like this? More this. No, I kind of saw it more this way. That was really crucial to me.
God, if I had that as a something for somebody to work with, we wouldn't be here right now. This dipshit doesn't even know how to use a phone. It's amazing.
Yeah, you know why? Because we use technology. We don't use his phone is still the princess phone on the cord on the wall that hangs up. So we can slam it down and it goes ting when he hangs up on it. Yeah, I have to duct tape this guy.
It's retro, Dennis. Retro's coming back.
Where'd you find him, Vaughn, by the way?
Facebook. I just posted on Facebook, and I just made like a little post on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, like I have a comic, like if someone wants to draw, and then suddenly I'm getting messages from like all these different continents, like, sir, I would like to draw. I'm like, what? I thought maybe like 3 people would respond, and I just get like this avalanche of responses, and I was like, let me take a few days and go through this, and it would be a long. And I remember I had settled on him, but not officially, so I feel bad for him because I was like, I'll let you know, because I realized it was like, all right. I wanted my script to be worthy of his talents, and as I was rereading it, I was like, it needs he liked the script, and he was like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, I'm not. So it took some time, and I rewrote the script because I'm like, if he's taking his time and I'm paying him, this script is going to be I want it to be as good as possible, and I would have people just rip me a new one. And even when I would obviously was my most brutal critic, but I kept doing it, and eventually it got to a point where I'm like, okay, I can't have the entire world's approval. I got to just do it. But I did rewrite it many times, and everyone should be thankful that I did, because holy God, there was like
we started with Garden State last year. How many times have you rewritten it since then?
Since Garden State, because I had rewritten it several times by then. I think I rewrote in its entirety at least once. At least once. But no, that's at least though. I revised it many times, but in terms of a full up, taking it back and rewriting it from scratch, at least once. And it's funny because I had written the first 8 issues even before I met you at Garden State, but I spent more time on the first issue, specifically because honestly, the second and third act I got them fairly quickly. But I find starting a story is by far the hardest part. And I spent probably more time in the first 20 pages in the story than all the other issues combined.
I agree. It's the most critical. You have, especially when you've got a new IP. Obviously, we went through it. How do you introduce an entire new world with its governing rules and properties to new viewers, new readers that really want to see what this is about? You don't want to overload them, but you got to give them enough information to make it interesting and draw them into the story. It's a critical time, so kudos.
Yeah, I mean, it took a lot. I remember, I got some advice once that in a complex world, tell a simple story, which is why I decided to keep it a very simple coming of age superhero story to start with, and then it'll evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve. But I wanted to start simple and just show that I could do it, and because this is the story I wanted to tell to start with, and that's where I'm at, and I'm really happy with how it's come about. And I'm excited. I could write this the rest of my life. I have many. It was 11 issues, and then I combined the first 3 into one issue. I'm going to see from here on out if I'm going to do. This is 68 pages, 64 of story, and then 68 total. Right. There is an art contest going on right now. The winner will be printed in the book. If we scroll down, there is an art contest. Is it down here? Down here. I gotta get this together. Yeah. Art contest right here. I always like to share things out. And then there is also this mini print. You will get this mini print for free if you back it. All backers on Fund My Comic get this mini print.
Oh, nice.
And Very then, cool. Yeah. And then if it hits 15K, everyone will get this as a mini print too. Because everyone I remember loved that double page spread.
It's awesome.
For my artist, I was rewriting that double page spread. Even though there's not a lot of dialogue on it, I was there's a lot that I describe that you don't see visually, but it was I wanted my artist to have it in his head. And as I was rewriting it, I was like, wait, don't draw it yet. I'm still rewriting it. And then by the time I'm ready to send him what I rewrote, he sends me a thumbnail. I'm like, dude, don't even bother reading. But I just that's good.
What man. I just
that's
wrote,
really good. Yeah. Good. It's not compared to that. Don't even, It's fine, man. And
that shadow looks...
Is he coloring it too, or is he just doing the black
different colors? The black and white looked insane, and then the colorists there's a lot of colorists that I feel really overstate things and and overshadow. And this colorist, what I like is he adds a lot, but he doesn't I don't feel that he ever really overshadows the pencils.
He's not trying to be the no, look at me, look, I'm the colorist, look at the coloring, don't look at anything else, look at me.
Yeah. He's complimentary.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, it's the same thing with lettering. You want the lettering to be there, obviously, but you don't want it to come right out at you and be noticed because that's not the point of it.
And that's why I think sometimes when I'm giving feedback, I need to get better at just letting things go because I'll be like, oh, the lettering, I'm not sure. I barely notice it. My letter would be like, that's kind of the point. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Or it's like, oh, this isn't pronounced enough. And it's like, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, lettering is obviously part of the storytelling in regards to, obviously sound effects. And then if you want to give somebody a different speech pattern with the shape of their balloon or the font or a color. But once again, it's something that you want to just be there and not be noticed first and foremost.
I really like have you seen those effects? Type of styles where the text is transparent, you'll see the outline of the whatever it is, boom or whatever, so you can see almost actually through the words. I really like those style. It's one level beyond really trying to make it a secondary thing.
Sure. Go through the tiers. Yeah, break down the tiers for us there, big guy.
Yeah, so they're actually
I've got links to both campaigns that we'll be talking about in the description, so those of you that aren't live will have it. I posted it up here, so guys, you'll be able to go back in and back both Vaughn and Joe's books, so everything will be listed down below.
Sounds good. So we got the $5 signature. So if you see me in person or you know me, just obviously I'll sign anything for free in person, but this is just because I have to go to the fulfillment. So if for $5, if you want to get it signed, just add that to your order and specify what you want signed, and I'll happily do it. If you want the mini print signed, boom. If you want the main cover, all covers signed, just let me know. Happily we'll do it. So then for the main cover, it's $20. And then for each variant cover, so the main cover is going to be available after, but it will come with the exclusive mini print. So by backing, you still get an exclusive. I want to make sure backers always get an exclusive. Then for the variant covers, it is $25, and these are all going to be, once I'm done crowdfunding, all these covers are gone. So if you want to get these covers, you have to back the campaign. $25 each. Reenies will be colored. It just isn't yet. Then if you want just the main and variant, $45. Then it's just, these are all just the combinations. You select the cover you want. A lot of people I noticed, because I didn't even really think of this, are like using this to get just like two, especially Rainy covers. People really are buying that. Then if you want all 4 covers right here, if you want everything, well, so Give Me Everything is all 4 covers, plus you get a poster of the main cover.
Oh, cool.
An 11 by 17. So if you want all of that, just back this tier. And then if you want 5 of everything, you get your name in the book. You get 5 copies of each cover, 5 of the exclusive day 1 trading cards.
Cool.
You get 5 of the mini prints. You get your name in the book, and shipping is included. So it's a $630 value. Then the producer tier is for $1,000. You get your name credited as a producer. You get a handwritten thank you letter. You get 15 copies of the main cover, 10 copies of each variant, 5 11 by 17 posters of the main cover, the 10 Dark Cloud mini prints, 10 trading cards, and when it's available digitally, you will get that, and the shipping is included in there. And then there's a retailer tier, and then if you want more than 1 mini print, if 1 mini print is not enough for you, you get the free one. But if you're like, I want more, $3 extra, I get as many of them as you want.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well,
Yeah, I like
guys,
that creative idea for producer tier. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
think that I was just gonna say I think that's a really awesome idea. So kudos, hats off to you.
I will
Yeah.
be stealing it.
Yeah, I figured, I was like, if one person is crazy enough, which if one person is crazy enough to get a $500 and $1,000 tier on every campaign, because if no one gets it, like, okay, whatever. But if someone gets it, it will feel very nice.
at the very tail end of the first Kor-Drath campaign, I think it was only up for like maybe a week. And it was something we kept talking about, and I just honestly forgot to do it, or I would have put it up for a couple months. But we put up for $4,000 in the continental United States. We will hand deliver your book.
And did you
If somebody out there wants to pay $4,000 for the 2 of us to show up at their door and go, here it is. Okay.
Yeah, and if not, it's like, if they're like, that's a ridiculous offer, you'd be like, okay, don't get it.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, when nobody's making you do it.
One of the guys we went on, I don't remember who it was. He had a $10,000 tier.
Golf cart.
Yeah, it was the golf cart. He wanted a golf cart, right?
Was it a monster?
Was it Diaz?
Nope.
Okay. We had somebody on and they had a $10,000 tier. I need a golf cart. And he goes, well, somebody does, great.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually, I gotta, the going in person tier is good, actually. But you got to be careful because, okay, well, actually, you saved it by saying a continental United States. Yeah, because if you did like, oh, yeah, $4,000 and then they ship you out to, like, I don't know, wherever.
Oh, no, we thought about, no.
You're like, I don't.
We put thought into it, like, well, we're not doing this worldwide because 2 tickets to, like, Australia, you could just totally eat up all that.
And
he was talking off in the
rainforest. Nah, I don't know if I want to do that.
I was like, come on, let's do one to Gaza. Why?
Put you on your sunscreen.
No.
Gaza.
But I'm like, the funny thing is, once again, I totally forgot about it until we were talking about your tier for the producer stuff, and then I remembered. So it very well might be something we put up in the next few months, just because you never know. You leave it up there, nobody does it. Okay, whatever. No harm, no foul. One person does it, you're like, nice, taking a flight, Dennis. So,
yeah, and the thing is, if they're like, oh, my name is in this book, they'll be more willing to give those copies out, and they'll have the copies to give out. So that's why part of why I did that.
We'll go back that. And
it looks great, Vaughn, by the way. I mean, we talked before you launched on your channel, and it looked great then. I saw the trailer. I think your trailer is pretty awesome. It's like minimalist, but like really great.
I want your trailer if you shared your sound.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. The sound should be shared. Can you hear it?
Nope.
No. Wah.
Did not share your sound.
How do I share my sound?
So unshare it.
All right.
Dennis loves teaching young kids new things.
And then go back in when you share it. There's a little click box down at the bottom, and it'll basically say share audio.
Hold on.
When you go to share your screen,
it should be default, really, right?
Screen.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was default.
Yeah, but it's
These
only
guys
when you
also share audio. It's shared.
Huh.
All right, we'll try it again.
Try it again.
Let's see.
Quieter at the start. You can't
Don't
hear it?
hear it. Nope.
Nope.
When the whole world was dragged into World War III,
Still?
There we
Oh,
go.
wait. No, I hear
brave
it.
men like my father fought on the front lines,
Oh, yeah, we hear it.
and they weren't alone. That was 20 years ago. Now it's up to us to carry on their legacy. And every so often, the earth from which we come gives way for something new, something greater to be born. And with them, even greater threats to face. Bring it on!
I recognize that voice.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Phenomenova.
Nice.
For you.
Very nice. Well, guys, go back it. The link is in the description below. We will, of course, touch on it again before the stream is over. But now it is Star Circuit Volume 2, Chapter 2.
Yes.
Joe. And I can vouch. I got Chapter 1. I thought it was great. I always say when I first look at campaigns, the first thing I do is look at the art, because if I like the art, I'm more likely to back it. And I thought the art style on this was really freaking cool. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to back this. And I got it. So.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that, I mean, I was stoked with the first release of Chapter 1. So many people, like, it was right around, right after the pandemic, and a lot of people were just aching to get something different. Than there was a lot of werewolf stuff, and I forget what other books were out at the time, but cyberpunk sci-fi story was right in the pocket. But this story it's a cyberpunk sci-fi story that is really inspired by like old school racing stuff in that genre, like F-Zero or Tron, Akira, those type of things. And that's really what a lot of I'm like half inspired by a lot of American comics, and the other half was growing up with these old like anime shows. And they really
I'd like to add in Speed Racer, just saying.
Yeah. I definitely watched a lot of Speed Racer as a kid. My grandma used to like tape them, and we'd watch them. But yeah, there's a ton of that. I think somewhere along the lines, I was like, man, this is the story I want to tell, because I'm able to, one, talk about connections with people, because in the future, there's the whole theme of the future is that we become more and more connected, and yet we somehow are less connected and have less purpose. And so it's like this story diving into that. So in Star Circuit, we follow this street racer named Atlas Metric, who's kind of like this spoiled rich kid that's running away from his problems, but he's also one of the, I'd say, few people in the world that has like some sort of like driving force. Like he has this delusion that he may race in the premier leagues that are all kind of dominated and or racing by or dominated by androids. And so it's kind of like a fool's errand. It's almost like a suicidal thought for people to hear. And yeah, it's that's the story. The story is a man versus machine story, and all about racing. But chapter 1 was a 32-page book that covered almost just the catalyst part of the story, where our main street racer wins like this race in the slums, and he gets this piece of tech that eventually leads him down this path of like his I explained it at the top here, but everyone in this world has this ARC chip, which enables them to connect with other people without any other interface. And they also allow you to like see things with like, how it's like an AR connection, where you're able to kind of put skins on different things. You see advertisements through your, retinas and a lot of things like that. So it's kind of like a cool piece of tech. Anyway, his glitch is out in the first book, and that kind of leads into the second one, where because of this glitch, he's now a target by cyber assassins. And that's kind of the second cover by Rob Willis. Yeah. And highlighting these assassins. So yeah.
That's freaking cool. How did you come up with the initial concept? I mean, I know you said that you were a fan of the certain animation and cartoons and stuff growing up, but at what point did you gel on, this is what I'm going to do for my first project? Because Star Circuit, the first one, was your first project, correct?
Yeah, it's the first thing I've ever done, really. All the other things I've got published were like small press, really almost like insignificant, not insignificant, but like this is the main first effort that I've put out. And before this, I was doing a lot of samples, trying to get into a lot of the bigger publishers, obviously. And I would get to the point where I was doing really good, and a lot of the critiques I get were like, "We got nothing for you. You should be working, but there's nothing happening for you." So that's when I was like, "Okay, I'm good enough to do something." So I write and draw Star Circuit, so yeah, it's something I've been doing since 2016, trying to get this thing going. I think a lot of it comes from like playing F-Zero as a kid, but never owning the game. And back in the day, it's pixel kind of stuff, right? So like it almost is in your imagination. It was almost like a boon for the IP, because I'd play the game with my friends, and then my friends would leave, take the game, and I would be left with just my imagination of it. And things like this would spawn just like, I like Vaughn. I mean, maybe not like Vaughn, but I'm not really a writer. I learned to write after. I pretty much just write the story. I learned to write, and I spent a year and a half waking up at 4 a.m. before work and trying to write the story. And like Vaughn, I rewrote it a lot.
Oh, okay.
Dude, a ton of the beginning stuff was trash. And
beginning is the hardest part, dude.
Dude.
See, I always find finishing the hardest part. Oh, wait, sorry. We're talking about writing comics.
Yes,
yeah, but
writing.
It's 130 seconds, so that's
not Kor-Drath. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So are you, when it comes to the art side of things, are you self-taught, or what's your background there? And if you can hear
I'm pretty much.
That's because my wife is just getting home.
So yeah, I'm self-taught. I'd say I have had a couple classes. I went to school in Orlando here for CG, doing computer animation, and that's kind of how I funded a lot of doing this, a lot of my day job. But recently, I actually quit. I'm out of that realm of things and doing my all storytelling art now.
Okay.
Awesome.
So yeah, now I'm doing commercial storyboards and comics. So that's fun.
Where'd you go to school there?
I went to Full Sail down here, and
I had a feeling you were going to say that. That's where my daughter takes classes now, but she does it from home up here.
Oh, nice. I mean, they're like anything. It's a trade-off, So like that school is good if you really know what you want to do. But if you're just like meandering around, that school There's a lot of people that meander their way into not doing anything. But anyway, I'd say I'm one of the success stories from the school. But anyway, this book.
We plan on visiting the school on Monday. Actually, she's never going to go in person. She graduates next February.
Oh, cool. Dude, we might have to. You might have to sync up if you want to just grab lunch or something. Because I haven't been on campus in forever either.
Yeah. I was gonna. Yeah, we'll have to try and do that. We'll swap numbers after.
All right, wink, wink. So,
nope, bastard.
So yeah, I was gonna say the challenge of this book was the writing part. The art part I was working on already since after college. I went for computer animation, figured out I really didn't like that. I was really pissed every time the computer crashed and I'm trying to render something. I was like, screw this. I need it to be on paper. I need full control of this. Then I don't need tech.
So are you drawing this on paper?
The chapter 1, the one you have, was all penciled on paper, yeah. And then I go pencils to color. This one I'm doing digitally because the book is way bigger. Let's go to the top. It's a 72-page story, which means it'll probably be an 82? Over 80 probably pages with all the filler, but like thank yous and all the extra art. But 72 pages story is serious, so I needed to have a way to do it quicker. So I hired a colorist. So I'm not coloring this one either. The colors are done by Marcos Martins down here. And he's doing a great job trying to mimic what I'm doing.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you didn't say anything, I wouldn't have, really noticed. He's keeping the look consistent.
Yeah.
If you go check out his art, his color work on other books, you can tell like I'm pushing him in my direction. Like he tends to want to render more than what I need him to, and so I have to like keep pulling him back. Like, no, just make it two-tone as possible. Throw in some nice highlights.
Animation style. That's what's so cool about it. It does definitely have that. Kind of like that old school look of like. That's why I thought Speed Racer. Because it really has that type of look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, it's the heart of Speed Racer. I think eventually it falls into this book. Right in the beginnings of the book, the character, like I said, he's in his own delusion and in his own like old status quo life where he's kind of not the best person, and like kind of running from his problems. It never makes you a better person. So, like in the beginning, you don't get this kind of good-hearted type of nature of the world and of the characters, but eventually you get the Speed Racer type of goodness that comes, and that'll be really apparent. But yeah, all the internal pages I do the pencils for, and digitally this time, so they're way cleaner than last time.
Well, one of the things I liked about the first one, I think I can't remember what you called it, but it was basically like the book of layouts. In fact, you might have just called it that. But I remember when I gave to Dennis to borrow, I flipped it over. I was like, oh yeah, I got the layouts too, so you can look at that as well. So
yeah, I love doing that stuff.
I'm a process junkie, so.
Dude, I'm going to do that again. I didn't do it for this campaign. However, I plan to do it again. I think the next time I'll do it is when I put a collection together for like volume 1. Sure. It'll probably be the first few chapters, but yeah, Marcos is doing a great job mimicking as much as possible, and he's doing a better job than I think I could. Like our combination is working, and that's I think clear. But yeah, a lot of things happen in this book, and the story progresses into like the thing that I've learned from chapter 1 to 2 is like pacing. I didn't realize like how much. Like the amount of panels on the page and how much bubble and dialogue work that you have on each page, pace the page. And like you almost can tell by the numbers how it's going to read. And I didn't realize that up front. The first book really reads cool because it's fast paced, really dense, and it works for racing and like this kind of street racer kind of feel. But I think in the second chapter, I really come into my own about like having it be fast at some points, slow down, and then fast at another point, and then build up to a nice climax. And
I mean, you want to have a nice rhythm throughout the book,
Exactly, that's the word I'm looking for.
It's like music, it needs to have a nice ebb and flow, ups and downs. You don't want it to be just a flat line, but you also don't want it to be just high up all the way, Are you doing the lettering on it too, or are you hiring?
I do this. The secret about chapter 1 was I lettered the whole book and then had Eric Weathers letter it again with what I did with letter 1. So like he would take my styles and then make them better and polish and make sure I didn't. You know what I mean? So this time I might letter it again, but just have him do like a consulting type of thing, like make sure I'm not screwing anything up. Though if I'm really short on time, I still might have him do the letters. Actually, the funding goal plans on that just in case. So the goal is pretty high at 9,000. So we're almost there. We're at 75%, and it's taking into account that Eric Weathers might have to do the letters for me because he's so good.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, here's the.
I'm curious. Since you're drawing it digitally, what program are you using? Always like to find that out.
Technically, it was a little bit of a mix. I started with Photoshop for the layouts, and I've kind of slowly, ever since I got this. Have you guys seen this little thing?
No. What is that?
I'm a video game person, so this is genius for video game people. You hold it like a video game controller, and your thumb does all these modifier buttons. Anyway, it's Clip Studio's TabMate, I think Chad Townsend talked about it on Twitter, and I finally got one. But yeah, I'm using Clip Studio right now with that.
So what does that handheld thing help you do?
Oh man, it's instead of using the keyboard for modifiers and stuff, it's the buttons on here allow you to essentially have a whole bunch of different combinations. So like say one of the buttons on this thing, if I tell it to, I can make it change the tool and rotation and whatever. Say like I always go to the lasso tool, then expand, and then do all these things in sequence. I just have to click the same button over and over to do that sequence. Really saves time.
Yeah, no, I've got on my Cintiq, which you guys can't see, but it's right in front of my computer. It came with a remote control, and you can customize it, do all that shit, and make your own key commands on it, whatever. I've never done anything. I just use the basic. I memorized what the basic ones were for zooming in and like zooming out and controlling alt and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's good enough.
It's great. I just have so much muscle memory from like game controllers that like my thumb is just really good at maneuvering one of those. And so I wish I found that years ago. I just got it a couple months ago, or maybe less than that. But either way, Clip Studio is really good for comics. It has a nice preview of your whole book.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I have, put it this way, the version I have is when it was still called Manga Studio Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how far behind I am.
Yeah, at least 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. But I honestly, I just don't use it enough to go, oh, let me pay for Clip Studio. You know, Dennis is big into video games, and he got this big thing called a tank stick. Right?
What's that?
Tank. T-A-N-K. Like an Abraham's. Yep, like that Abraham's tank.
Have you ever heard of a tank stick?
No.
Frege just got one too.
You never heard of it till you either.
I know. I could be a spokesman for Arcade X. They're the ones who put it out. It's old controllers from like stand up the old arcade video games like we used to do. So it's the controllers with all the 9 buttons. It's got the centipede ball in the middle. It's got all the middle buttons. The brand new one that Dan just got has the Tempest. It's got the spinner paddle that's in the middle. So any type of video game that you can play, you can go head to head playing, Capcom stuff, literally Tempest. But it's meant for retro video games.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I grew up. I'm right in between you guys. Probably. I'm 36, so
I was going to say, you look young, not 20s young. Don't go to your head. I would say early 30s. So you still got that going for you. Unlike this guy who looks like he's about 75 when he's actually just 5 weeks younger than me, which I look like a baby. So
right, I just get the most white lighting. That way you can't see the grays as much. It's a trick. You can.
Yeah, my trick is just to shave my head. Then you can't see him at all.
Yeah,
that's
next level.
Shave your head for Garden State. Come on.
Absolutely. No way. Ain't no way.
Don't grow back. You're only 23. What are you afraid of?
Set a realistic expectation goal. If you hit a certain amount, you'll shave your head.
Dude, you know what's funny? You are not the first one to say that. Like, literally, that has been a joke in Reenie's chat. First, it started where they were like, "Oh, if Reenie hits this goal, Vaughn shaves his head." And I was like, "Why would I do that? How am I benefiting from this?"
Right. That doesn't make sense.
Well, Reenie pays you on the back end.
That's not happening. Yeah, and so then it was like for my book, and it's like, okay, well, I have to mark it bald. I can't do that.
Sure you can. You just got to lay it out and go, guys, as soon as this campaign hits 20K,
backing for the narrative, backing to make me humiliate myself.
You don't know. You might look good with a shaved head. Can you grow anything on your face or not yet?
The professionals probably have a...
Yeah, professionals, they I could ask most of the professionals.
No, Vaughn, just so you know Andy's history, he also lost a bet and he had to shave his hair and he goes, oh, it'll come back. Look, this is how it grew back. So be careful.
Yeah, I'm scared. Yeah, I don't trust it. You guys are gonna put pull some voodoo stuff.
That's a horror story, dude.
Voodoo dolls with pins. We got little
Yes,
razors.
shave. Yes, stay. Yeah, they'll put like something over my head, some like film that like prevents it. They'll do
No,
something.
That's gross.
you can get away.
Yeah, the shaving I would never do.
While we're at it, there.
Yeah. So I put them on the side. I didn't do this in the last campaign, I don't think, but I liked talking about them a little bit more than what's on the side panel. So you have options pretty much of getting. There's 2 different covers for Chapter 2. That's my cover and Rob Willis's cover, which the original art for that is up for sale. But you also can do the catch-up tier, which is from the beginning. It's $40. You can get both books. You're getting over 100 pages of story, and you're going to be set for where we're at with the story. That's where I would go if you were new for Star Circuit, right there.
Sure.
And then Fully Synced is a nice little package where you get all 3 covers. You're still getting the full story. You get a kanji patch, a glitch please sticker, and also a sketch card as well. So sketch cards, original art. So it's the cheapest way to probably get an original art and some extra fun goodies. Yeah, glitch please, guys.
Dude, I should maybe like learn to draw even basic level so I could do a sketch card, but I can't even do that.
Yeah, talk to I don't know. Well, I don't know who to talk to. Other writers that pull that off somehow.
That's right. Talk to Mike, Chuck Dixon.
Do they sell drawing? I mean, I have a Jeff Loeb drawing
Chuck
a
every now and then will do a doodle. Mike doesn't. I just said Mike because he'll do. He for his scripts he draws them out.
Yeah.
Generally, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, you just for that reason, drawing out panels and drawing out, like your story might help your artist figure things out a little easier. I know a lot of people do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, and Mike, we had him on last week with Kelsey, and Mike actually showed a page because I've never seen Mike's sketch of the way he writes, and I did. I told Dennis, I said, just for fun, he should try it, because you don't have to know how to, just stick figures, basic shapes, whatever. And I think it would be a good exercise for a writer to take out, just a piece of typing paper and, roll it out so it's the same proportion of a comic book page, because it does make a difference. And then, look, if you wrote a 5-6 panel page, lay out the panels and do your best to sketch in what you think. I think it's a good idea and a good exercise, just so they can kind of go, oh, this is what the artist has to try and go through,
Yeah. It's kind of puts you in that mindset a little bit at least. And I think it's recommended just to like kind of feel out, like if you're actually writing words in between panels, you kind of start feeling out like, man, this,
right.
That can be a thing. You don't want to go Bendis's route.
Yeah, I mean, I can't draw at that level, but I'd even like take out pages and be like, okay, is this too much? Well, kind of eyeballing it seems like it, and I'd ask my artist if it seemed like too much. I'm figuring it out, so I'm still figuring it out. Like I know the letter, I'm gonna learn. I know by the end of issue 1, having seen it all, I will be a better writer. So that's the one thing I will say. Because I knew it was like I had to make a script as good as possible, but knowing that issue 1, that's what it's my best work as a writer ever. That's not good.
Well, I mean, the more you do it, the better you get at it. You learn from your mistakes and just keep moving forward, and you don't dwell on the stuff because there's nothing you can do about it. It's done. Mm-hmm. What's done is done. So you just learn from it and move on and push forward and stuff.
Take the feedback and just keep going. I mean, I definitely have some regrets for chapter 1, but like they're not big ones. I think it overall was a success. I think I was talking to you guys, I think before the stream, but like, yeah, I put out a nice little clip on Twitter of like some good praise for chapter 1. I think also at the very top here of the page here, if you go to this little link right above the covers, here there's a free preview. You can go read the free preview for chapter 1 on the website. And so just in case you want to like,
so people know.
What'd you say?
Because I mean, it's not the whole book, obviously. So what is it?
Yeah, it's like 12 pages or something.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so a nice 12 page. I think eventually I will put the whole first issue once I get, another 100 pages out or something. I think giving away 30 is okay, especially if you want them to get invested. I think it'll work. At least I'm confident in chapter 1 to do that.
I would be skeptical of that, and I'll tell you why. If you're offering digital, are you offering a digital?
Yeah,
I am. Yeah, I'm giving you 1 and 2 for 15. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't put up the whole book of 1 because people are literally paying for it.
Yeah, it would be down the road when I'm like on chapter 4.
Okay. Yeah, if it's that far down the road, then okay.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were talking like, somewhere.
No.
Future. Yeah.
Nowhere near.
Yeah, if you're that far down the road, then yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the only other things you're missing, I think that we on the campaign, because you have the backup, the catch up tier. The digital was something I didn't mention, but we just talked about. So you can get both chapters for that way. And then the add-ons can all, no matter what you buy, you can add on because we're on Indiegogo. And then we also have original art. So there are leftover pages of penciled work for chapter 1. So if you want, you get the book, you get chapter 2 plus an original page from chapter 1 for $250. It's a pretty sweet deal. If you actually go to my website now, they're probably 100 or 200 more than what you're going to get them here. So it's a deal for that. And then we still have the Willis cover available, and that's up for grabs. It's brilliant looking in person.
I've seen the black. I looked at the black and white. That thing is.
That looks incredible, dude.
Crazy.
I shouldn't have gotten. Everyone drawing digital is convenient, but I mean, owning original art is always so nice. I still have one from you, Andy. Actually, that Deadpool first appearance cover you did.
Oh yeah. I like. I'm all about the originals. I'll probably never. I don't mind laying things out, digitally than printing it, but I just like grabbing a white piece of paper and just starting to draw on it.
Yeah,
why does it have to be white, Andy?
It's kind of hard to draw on black paper, Vaughn, with with gray lead. Well, I know you're young and you don't.
Vaughn could do it. Vaughn could do anything, Andy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the first phone number, Dennis. You groomed kids when you were a Boy Scout leader. There's Vaughn for you.
Oh, wow. That's incriminated.
Wow.
Joe Bernardo dropping nice compliments. Thank you, Joe. Go back those books.
Well, I was going to say, Joe, I love the fact that you got it from the beginning tier because that's the one I wound up backing because I didn't get number 1. Andy lent me the number 1 so I could look at it. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So, yeah.
Oh, you're one of those friends. Yeah.
1 and 2. Yeah, that's cool. But see, that's how you get more stuff by sharing it. And I love the fact that you were able to do it. And Vaughn, on yours, I mean, I'm a Reenie fan, so you already know which cover I backed.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. It said variant cover, so I'm wondering. That was one of the things. So because I made it 1 tier, initially I was gonna have it be multiple, but then I saw Fun My Comic had that drop down, so I added that, and also I would have combination if I did that. Yeah. So, but I do wonder, like, because I see variant cover, and I'm like, what did they get? But usually it is the Reenie cover, even despite not having colors, is still.
I really don't. I backed yours.
Looks cool.
Back right after you launched it, and I honestly don't remember which one I did.
The main cover. Let me check.
No, don't tell me it'll be a nice
surprise. No, he likes Christmas surprise. Don't ruin it.
Don't tell me.
Don't tell me.
I'm just gonna look for myself.
Yeah,
it's like the old man surprise, man.
It's one of those things where they all look great. Star Circuit. Dennis backed it, and I said, is there an add-on for number 2? And he's like, yep. I said, chuck it in there. I'll just give you the money because, obviously it's not like we live all apart. So
that's awesome. Maybe I'll I got a short minute trailer. I think it sells the book pretty well. It's pretty awesome.
Is your audio shared?
It should be. So let's go for it.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to Colony A.2.1. Here, a vast network connects the minds of each member of the populace, delivering endless entertainment. Augmentally custom made for each individual member free of charge. It's the cornerstone of modern life, a perfect system. That was until a street racer named Atlas Metric caused the glitch in this flawless system. It went undetected by the system admins. but now has the attention of a nefarious power who will do whatever it takes to retrieve the cause of the glitch. Atlas. Now relentless android assassins have been dispatched to capture him. In order to escape this threat, he will need to overcome the impossible, with the glitch in tow. But hey, impossible is just something losers say when they've given up, right?
Nice.
Dude, that's a really good script. I'm assuming you put that together.
Me and Ted Zagaro did the majority of the work. Obviously, he edited my last trailer, but yeah, he's really great. He did Sovereign Wolf and other trailers as well. But yeah, he's fantastic.
Is that a real woman's voice or AI?
It is AI.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the only time. Like I was like, man, this is perfect because I wrote this script like for the trailer like a million times over, and the last one I came up with was like, this sounds like it should be like a tour guide for like the city, you know, and like an AI voice giving you this tour guide kind of thing.
Dude, it works great.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I do think normally those AI voices don't, but when the character is supposed to be AI, it's like, makes sense.
Yeah, I normally I would say, no, man, I'm going to go hire somebody because that's just my kind of thing. I'd rather hire somebody to do it. And it usually comes out a little bit better because you can tell them, keep redoing it, you know, a new take. And AI is kind of stiff, like for obvious reasons. But
That turned out great.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
fantastic.
like I said, I kind of thought it was, but I figured I'd ask because, you know, if you instruct a voice actor, I want it to sound this specific way, they can obviously do it. But you know, that being AI works perfect for the concept. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what happened, or you know how it all came together. You know, it's just like anything else. New draft until we get something that's awesome. And I appreciate anybody who's backed. Dude, it's a large goal, so I'm confident we're going to get funded, but definitely help back us.
This your first 30, right?
Yeah, this is the first 30.
And you'll do another, I take it.
I'll probably do another. I mean, if we do get funded, there's a small chance I switch over to Fund My Comic and do 30 there, 30 on Fund My Comic. But we'll see. If I don't, I don't, and we go for the next 60. But I think with a couple big packages, you know, it can really hit the goal pretty quick.
That's cool.
Just trying to get eyes on it.
Gotcha.
And Vaughn, real quick. That's mine. Don't want to do that one. Damn, Vaughn, did you stop sharing? You stopped sharing.
Hold on. I'll
pull
my
it back
screen
up.
real quick.
I was just going to ask, how's it work on Fund My Comic? Does it do the whole first 30 seconds? How's it work there? Because
you can customize it, but I did 30 days, and then I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it until the book is done, but at the rate it's going. So as of today, I am now officially, I've got 40 pages colored.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So I'm 52 because I forgot he skipped my artist. He's been doing it in chronological order, but there was one page where he's like, I'm going to do this one later. So 53 was done, but so 52 total pages have been penciled and inked. 40 have been colored. So it's like my colorist is like, hey, I'm catching up. And I'm like, all right. Because at first I like blinked and my colorist did like 10 pages. I was like, what?
Right.
But that's generally, he does them in like batches. But so it's going well. But you will get this book faster turnaround. And obviously the faster and more it funds, the faster we could get to issue 2 and then 3 and then 4. I'd love to replicate that as best I can, just getting the new issue.
Sure.
I'll have, it on my website, just the main cover once I make a website. So, but first, the priority is obviously before I do that, getting it out to backers. And so at least 148 people are getting it. So that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
You guys picked
up. So go secure Phenomenova.com if you haven't already.
Yep. And guys, here's the links. This is Phenomenova. There's the link right there. It is down below. And for Star Circuit, again, that is also down below in the description. So if you guys are watching this, just click on the link and take it and back. Both of these are absolutely fantastic books.
Exactly. And by the time Vaughn gets to issue 12, unfortunately, Dennis will probably be 6 feet under. I will go by his gravesite and read it to him, though, Vaughn.
Oh, that sounds all right. Thank you. I can always rely on you to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's, he'll get up to issue 11, then probably, it's the big one. I'm coming for you.
Wow, you're killing me off. Lizzie, it's the big one. Now, right. I know you guys aren't going to get that reference, but
yeah. And then I'll just go read it to him,
So, guys, one of the things I did want to show, because I saw people were mentioning it in there. You guys wanted to see what a tank stick was?
Tank stick.
Not a tank stick.
Now, do you fit on that
tank stick?
Oh.
So, yeah, you can put it. We've got benches and stuff. You can put it anywhere. It's a big, heavy one. They're completely controllable. So the centipede one is in the middle. You've got your joystick with your 8 controllable buttons. And there's your coin operation and your start buttons. There's your player 1, player 2. And then this is the new one, the Max. Mine doesn't have it because this is the ones they're just putting out. That's got the spinners. So
okay. I was like, what is that? Yeah.
Tank stick, Arcade X. It's based for MAME, so if you guys do emulations and old stuff, it is an absolutely fantastic product to have up.
Wow, look at that. Joe's going to get himself one. I already know it.
Yeah, once I finish my book.
That's right.
That's correct.
And speaking of Kor-Drath, The Awakening, guys, it is live, of course. Go check it out. It's the follow-up to Kor-Drath, The Reckoning. The adventure continues. Vordoom the Undying, the big bad, was revealed in the first one. He is playing hardcore in this one. What does Joe say? Bernardo. Whenever I see a chat from Bernardo, I read it to see what Andy knows what a tank stick is. I knew it. Such elementary school humor, Joe. Let's try and bring it up a level, shall we? So there we have it, Kor-Drath, The Awakening. Lots of different covers to choose from. The main cover by myself and Dan Lawless, of course, as like last time. Cover B is the homage cover by myself. And then we've got, of course, the Bud Root cover. And you're going, wait a second. That Bud Root cover, I seem to remember a Bud Root cover from the first one. You sure do. Because we designed it so you can put these two together to make one nice, big, beautiful image right there. So check that out.
That's great. I have that cover. Yeah, I'm excited to back this.
Thank you. We're doing a black and white edition of the book this time, not an artist edition. Full black and white. The same type of nice high-res scans that I sent to the colorist. Obviously, it has the lettering. It's just so you can read the book in black and white, almost like an old Savage sort of Conan magazine. Preview pages, of course, you can look at. Oh, there's Vordoom. He's such a bad guy. New monsters, new characters in the book. Of course, we do have the character breakdown. Oh, Demise and Dracomort. Dennis, what is that all about? As I show the art for the cover by Bart Sears and Dan Lawless.
There you go, guys. There is the Demise and Dracomort. It is the new incredible game. So you read the comic, you can play the game. High Fantasy, this one is 5th edition compatible, but most of you went and converted the last one to whatever system you were playing. A lot of fun. It's old school Dungeons and Dragons, retro module looking from like the late 70s, early 80s. It's a completely different story than the comic book, but this one is all about, there's a dragon that a village wound up taking out generations ago. Well, its spawn has come home to roost and take vengeance for the killing of its mother. So a whole new exciting high fantasy game to play.
That's right. Kor-Drath, when this covers like dragon, this is woman's work. Don't take care of it, Adriana. But it goes great with a role-playing game, Dennis. Minifigures, of course. And now you can get your very own Kor-Drath minifigure, 2-inch version, perfect for role-playing games, 3-inch version, or the Big Bad Booty Daddy 5-inch version, really nicely detailed up. if you just want to put it on your shelf.
Based right off of your artwork.
It is based
that
right off of my
artwork. Was
artwork.
Phenomenal.
The guy did a fantastic job. What can we say?
Real quick, is the black and white edition less than the colored or no?
No, it is not.
Is this the same? Okay.
Price.
Okay.
It is the same price.
Does it have a color cover? I guess.
No, it does not. It is.
Okay.
It is all black and white all the time.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I might go that route. This looks awesome.
Thank you. Well, if you go that route, then when we get down to the add-ons, parody ad, of course. Oh, by the way, got to mention first stretch goal at 50 grand is the Vordoom playable character card. That's right. Every role player loved the first playable character cards we did the first campaign. We're bringing them back. Vordoom is the first one in the new batch.
These are 7x10. The front, some people don't even role play, but they wanted the artwork. They framed them. They look great. 7x10 inch, awesome looking artwork on the front.
Thank you.
And absolutely cool 5th edition stats on the back. And many of you guys are commenting on how powerful he is.
That's right. And but going down to the add-ons, well, if you like that black and white ink book, you could add on upon checkout the Kor-Drath The Awakening, the layouts. I'm scanning all my pencils in before I go to inks, and they'll be in a book that is less than the actual graphic novel. There's no lettering on these pages, just the nice raw layouts. So you can basically compare and go, wow, he draws that, and then he adds that much in the inking. Holy crap, what a genius. Those, by the way, are not my words. Those are Dennis's. He just will never say them on a live stream because he likes to hurt me.
Or out loud.
Right. You can get the manga version of Kor-Drath The Reckoning, rated E for everyone, and it's in black and white.
Nice.
Manga size.
E for everyone. Hang on. There's no... If it's anything like the first book, it's E for everyone?
No, we did some editing to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the spot that the cut page you will not leave out for your mother, it is no longer there. It is edited.
And the page after that, because there is something on the one right after it as well.
Yeah. So these are E for everyone or V for Vaughn rated. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, I like the big boy version.
I checked your ID on checkout. Color digest, a little bit bigger than the manga digest, but still smaller than the regular graphic novel.
And that's page 9, Vaughn, since you're looking.
Yeah. Also rated.
How do you know? How'd you know I was looking?
He knows.
We know you.
Yeah.
He's got it bookmarked.
That's
no,
right.
I didn't have it bookmarked. I just opened up and I was like, "Yep, there it is."
No, because he had the dog ear.
No, I wouldn't do that to my comic book that I paid for.
That's right. That's what I like to hear. You keep it in mint. And then, of course, the Kor-Drath Collector's Box, featuring on one side the homage cover from Kor-Drath The Reckoning, the other side the homage cover from Kor-Drath The Awakening. On the ends, you've got Kor-Drath and Adriana from the cover Dan and I did, and perfect to put your Kor-Drath books in. And, of course, if you back the featured tier, the Kor-Drath Awakening big box, you get all the covers, the black and white edition, the new game module, the Adriana trading card, and the collector's box. Of course, there's the game module for 20, all the variant covers as I scroll down through them. If you want to get just volume 1, second print with the Budroot variant, new variant cover, you can.
New cover.
Catch-up tier, of course, gets you volume 1 with the new Budroot cover and volume 2 cover. A head sketch tier, 7x10 head sketch, character of your choice, full figure, character of your choice. I will draw. And then the last big bad booty daddy is the Kor-Drath The Reckoning and Awakening box, which has everything from Kor-Drath The Reckoning, artist edition included, all the covers, the first game module, the character cards, the Lilith trading card, and everything from the Awakening campaign, this new campaign, all the covers, the Adriana card, just it's all there.
But guys, they're limited quantities because we're not reprinting any of those books from the first one. We've got enough for 50 of those sets. that is it. So, if you didn't get the first one and you really like it, go grab it because they are limited.
That's right. And there you go. Let's see. Oh, Bella Winters is here.
Thank
She
you.
is.
Thank you.
Back and back. Thank you
Sweet.
so much. Belle, I'm going to DM you on Twitter. I have an idea for a video that I want to run past you. Dennis loves the idea.
I do.
So I'm going to DM you about that and see if it's something you wouldn't mind putting together because your videos are fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you so much.
I just saw the Star Wars one today. Fantastic.
Yeah. What is this? Vaughn is like a younger
All right, let me
brother
look this
of
up.
Lewis from
See if
the
it's an
last
insult.
Starfighter. I don't even know if Vaughn knows what you're talking about.
I don't. I'm Googling it.
Nah. Everyone loves the taint stick. That's what I'm talking about. Go get your own.
So, guys, I got one thing I want to show you, and I'm going to have you guys do this. On my Twitter X account, there's an argument/debate that is going on, and it was posed to me. Pot pies are the same as casseroles. Are they really the same thing? Yes or no? Are they in the same family of food? So I'm saying they are nothing like it. To me, a pot pie is more of a stew with like a cover on it, but a casserole is totally different. Or is it? So I've got people saying no, they are basically the same thing, and others not. And it's going on. I see 39 of you have voted already. So for those of you that are new for this, here, let me just do this. I'm going to drop my X. If you guys haven't done it, my X Twitter is at Dinges Comics. Go there and vote. Or if you're on the chat and you want to leave your stuff right now, leave a message down below. Are pot pies in casseroles? Weird topic. Are they in the same family of food? Yes or no?
Now, I've got to ask Dennis, what is your answer to that question?
Absolutely not.
Oh, thank God we agree on that.
Well, that's a first.
No, they're not the same at all. Even Bell knows that.
Exactly. So, we've got it going on. I'm going to be discussing with this person tomorrow what it's all about. So go on, and I got a poll on my Twitter.
Yeah, I voted no.
Oh, by the way, right now, Vaughn is Googling casserole and pot pie. He has no idea what those are.
I know I have pot pie in my fridge downstairs. Now, casserole is something I got to familiarize myself with more.
Look at that, Bell. Thank you. Also, apple fritters are not donuts. Team Andy, well, of course.
Wow.
Guys,
wow.
Let's ask our panel. Vaughn, Joe,
Thank you.
are apple fritters donuts?
Oh, our apple fritter. Hold on.
I'd say no,
You
actually.
go to a store and go, I'd like an apple fritter donut. No, you go, I want an apple fritter.
When you go to Dunkin' Donuts,
That doesn't look like a donut.
No, you say, I want an apple fritter, right? It's
Yeah.
Dunkin'
Not a
Donuts. It's not
what?
Dunkin' Pastries.
They dipshit
No,
Dunkin'
it's
Donuts.
don't dipshit me.
They sell bagels at Dunkin' Donuts.
Now they do. They never used to. Fritters have been
bagel's
there
not a
since the
donut.
beginning.
Oh my
And-
Well, Dunkin'.
and Andy gets these donuts, plain donuts. That has nothing on it. Plain.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
The things that you don't eat, you throw them in the urinal as a urinal dog. That's what he eats and calls them donuts.
You eat just plain donuts?
Plain cake donuts.
Thank
If
you.
I
you
wanted
okay?
to educate you, because
Is it
you're
a health
young,
thing?
they're actually called an old fashioned, and they're so tasty.
Do they
Yeah, but
go
you
good
know,
with coffee
like,
or something? What?
They called old fashioned. That sounds like cope, honestly. Here's the thing. So like a lot of things are old fashioned. Like, okay, eating your animals raw after beating it to death with a club is old fashioned. Doesn't mean it's tasty or good. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's
I'm with Vaughn on this, man. The plain
sounds like
donut.
savagery.
No, yeah, that's like having a hot dog without toppings, dude. It's weird.
No, you can't do that. If you're gonna have a hot dog, you have to throw the chili on it, the mustard, the ketchup, the slaw.
Yeah, but no. Actually, when Andy eats his hot dog, it's just the bun because he likes nothing with flavor. Apparently,
No, Andy just sucks on the hot
everything.
dog, gets the flavor out, and then spits it out.
At least I eat a hot dog. I don't do this as I'm
Squibs.
eating it.
Squibs, I'm going to start up hashtag apple fritters are donuts. So, yep, I'm going to be adding that to my Twitter. They are, yeah. Andy, I would never do that.
Everybody thought I did.
No, it is. Because this is why we can't have a PG show ever.
This is why we'll never eat hot dogs on the show. Because I'll eat mine normal. Dennis would be like, oh, I love hot dogs. Oh. It's like you're supposed to bite the hot dog, not put it in and take it back out slowly.
You know, that's it. That's it. Kor-Drath's done. We're over. That's it. We're ending it right here.
Dennis tried entering a hot dog eating contest once, and by the end, everybody was done, and he was still working on it. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Contest. Oh, is this glorious? No, because it is hashtag definitive. Fritters are donuts.
No,
and plain cake donuts are urinal cakes. Yes, we now have it definitive. It is decided.
Hold on. Let me just show you one of the best things you could go buy.
Pot pie has pie crust, bottom, yes, sides, real pot.
That's
pie.
the best comment ever. Whatever that is, that's awesome.
Wait, what was the comment? I missed it.
It was just jumbled pie crust.
Oh. Hold on here. Let's see.
I feel like that comment was a casserole.
Right. Casseroles many times have noodles in there. And this was the other argument. How have you ever had a pot pie? I don't care if it's chicken or turkey or beef that had noodles in it. I've never had a pot pie. With the noodles pot pies, have they ever had noodles?
I've never. No.
That's casserole. No. Come on, people.
Right here, these are some of the best freaking donuts you can buy. Entenmann's Softies.
You don't buy those?
Wait, hang on. Tomato soup doesn't have noodles. Hang on. Tomato soup does not have noodles.
What?
So, wait. Oh, wait. Sorry. No, never mind.
Yeah, I think you mixed that one up.
Don't have noodles. Casseroles do.
Yeah, exactly.
These are the best. Vaughn, treat yourself. Get in your car, drive to the store, get yourself some.
And then I'll get Entenmann's chocolate donuts instead because that looks way more appetizing.
Yes!
Oh my God.
Or the powdered donuts or anything with flavor, which is literally flavor.
And then Bell Winters is like dipped in coffee is actually good, but that proves the point that they would.
Right here.
So,
are you holding?
This is Entenmann's. This is what Entenmann's donuts taste like. Cardboard and I'm just saying, don't be smart.
Entenmann chocolate donuts are good.
Yeah, even if you're gonna have it with coffee, have the crumb cake or something.
Yeah, see, look at that. You know, one of the same mind here. Bell, maybe you should write Kor-Drath. I don't know.
Dipped in coffee. Yeah, you have to dip it in something to make it edible. Those Entenmann cakes are like scones. Now, perhaps you like scones. Those little
scones are fantastic. Cakes. Nope, scones are not supposed to be hard. If they're hard, they're shitty. Blueberry scones
are too supposed to be hard.
No, they're not. All right, guys, this stream's going off the rails. Dennis needs food. He's hangry, obviously. This is what happens when we don't go to dinner at the proper time. He gets hangry. Pizza's calling him. On a serious note, go back. These guys' books, Phenomenova. Star Circuit 2, of course, Kor-Drath.
Yes.
These guys are great. Vaughn's a baller, even at 23.
Oh, yeah.
Not as cool as I was at 23, but he's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, you rock. Hey, I still had hair at 23, pal. Don't make me show you pictures.
No, it's like Vaughn's hair, so just saying.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it was like good.
So Vaughn, this is what you get to look forward to in 20 years. Just saying, I am so well in his case. 8 years.
Your math is so shitty that it's actually 30 years.
No. That's what you look like now. You have not had hair forever. So in 8 years, Vaughn, this is what you're going to look like.
Hang on, you were about by the time you're 30?
He's what?
We're 30, because 8 years from me is 34.
Yeah, he was.
I'll still have my hair. No, I'll still have my hair by then.
Oh no, I was.
Unless I'm in like a freak accident or something.
I shaved my head for the first time when I was 28, I think. John Beatty shaved it. He was so excited. Like, I want to shave your head. I was like, okay. Actually, I think his girlfriend did. One of them did.
Story is falling apart.
So anyhow, guys, thank you for watching this Friday. 8 a.m., the movie review for Abigail drops. It's that little 12-year-old ballerina vampire flick. If you want to know what we thought of it, tune in on Friday at 8 a.m. to watch the movie review of Abigail. We will be back next Wednesday at 3 p.m. with a guest who we will announce later. And we already have lined up. We're just going to announce them later, and I'll drop down the thumbnail thingy that we like to do. So until then, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yep. Thank you, both the guests. We loved having you
Thank
guys.
you for having me.
Fun as
Thanks.
always. Go out and back the campaigns. Grab yourself an apple fritter, no plain cake donut, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Gang sign.